A recent fallout between US President Donald Trump and Elon Musk took another turn Tuesday. Trump suggested the government efficiency department should take a look at the subsidies Musk's companies have received in order to save money. The comments come after the Tesla CEO renewed his criticism of Trump's sweeping tax cut and spending bill. He also vowed to unseat lawmakers who backed it after campaigning on limiting government spending. Musk wrote on X in response to Trump's Truth Social post, "I am literally saying cut it all now." Trump previously threatened to cut Musk's government subsidies and contracts when their relationship broke down last month over the bill. Non-partisan analysts have said it would add about $3 trillion to the US debt. Musk's businesses include rocket company and government contractor SpaceX, which has about $22 billion in federal contracts. His rift with Trump also caused volatility for Tesla. Shares of the electric car giant lost about $150 billion of its market value on June 5th, though it has since recovered. Tesla shares trading in Frankfurt tumbled 5% on Tuesday. On Saturday, Musk called the package utterly insane and destructive in a post on X and called again for a new political party.
The July 9th deadline for striking a trade deal with Washington is fast approaching, and Donald Trump isn't happy with Japan. Writing on social media, the president singled out rice as a sticking point. He said Japan's refusal to import American-grown rice was a sign that countries had become spoiled with respect to the US. "They won't take our rice, and yet they have a massive rice shortage," he wrote. Last week, Trump said a number of countries would get letters notifying them of the higher tariff rates they would face after July 9th. On that day, duties are scheduled to revert from a temporary level of 10% to as much as 50%. Speaking Monday, White House press spokesperson Caroline Leavitt said Trump would act unilaterally where there was no deal.
He is going to set the rates for many of these countries if they don't come to the table to negotiate in good faith, and he is meeting with his trade team this week to do that.
In June, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent had floated the idea of extending the deadline for countries that were holding talks. Now he says he expects a flurry of deals before the deadline, with Trump alone to decide on any extensions. Autos are another flashpoint, with Trump accusing Japan of unfair trade in the sector. For its part, Tokyo's chief trade negotiator has warned of serious damage to Japan's economy if a 25% tariff on imported cars remains in place. Meanwhile, the EU is reportedly resigned to a deal that maintains a 10% baseline tariff on its goods, but wants a US commitment to cut duties on products including drugs and aircraft in return. That was according to reports by Bloomberg.
Turkish authorities on Monday detained 3 people over a satirical drawing allegedly depicting prophets Moses and Muhammad. The cartoon seemed to show them shaking hands in the sky, while missiles flew below in a scene resembling war. The cartoon, published in the weekly magazine Le Monde, was widely seen as a commentary on religious harmony in contrast to conflict on Earth. However, it drew strong condemnation from government officials and religious conservatives. Video from social media showed Islamist groups Monday evening marching to Le Monde's offices in Istanbul, chanting "God is the only deity" in Turkish, as well as other slogans, and eventually kicking its entrance doors. Turkey's interior minister shared a video on X showing police officers detaining cartoonist Dogan Pehlivan. He later posted 2 other videos showing 2 other men being forcibly taken from their homes. Turkey's justice minister said an investigation had been launched, and that detention orders had been issued for 6 people in total. In a statement on X, Leman apologized to readers who felt offended and said the cartoon had been misunderstood. It said Pehlevan had sought to highlight, quote, the suffering of a Muslim man killed in Israeli attacks, and that there was no intent to insult Islam or its prophet. Turkey's ranking for freedom of expression is consistently low, reflecting significant restrictions on media and public discourse. Reporters Without Borders ranks Turkey 158th out of 180 countries in its 2024 Press Freedom Index.
Den sidder der også bare. Damn, girl. Damn, oh my. In the world situation we're in right now, it's necessary to have more conscripts, and I think that women should contribute to that equally as men do. So actually I think it's a positive change, but I do think that a lot of women as well as men that might be forced to get into the military, it hasn't been like that in many years. I think it'll be a change. There are different things that they need to improve, especially in terms of equipment. Right now it's made for men, so perhaps like the rucksacks are like a bit too large and the uniforms are large as well, but I do know that they are working on it at the moment, and I think it's going to be something that they're going to achieve.
Who will be the next James Bond? That question has long been asked since Daniel Craig's departure from the franchise in 2021. Past Bond actors have usually been announced during specially convened press conferences. But with the announcement of Oscar-nominated director Denis Villeneuve taking the helm of the next James Bond film, fans speculate they are inching closer to the reveal. Variety reported last week that the film studio and producers are looking to cast a British actor under the age of 30. Some of the actors on their wish list include Spider-Man's Tom Holland, Baby Girl's Harris Dickinson, and Jacob Elordi, an Australian actor known for his role in Saltburn. Though Aaron Taylor-Johnson from 28 Years Later is still British bookmakers' favourite. New names leading betting odds include Theo James, Aaron Pierre, and Damson Idris. The upcoming film will be the first under Amazon's MGM Studios, which took creative control of the film franchise under a new joint venture with longtime rights holders Michael Wilson and Barbara Broccoli. Inspired by Ian Fleming's novels, the Bond franchise has spanned over 60 years, grossing more than $7 billion at the global box office, making it one of the most successful ever.